What if I told you that the future belongs to individuals, not nations? That the world as we know it is shifting under our feet, and only those who understand these changes will thrive? In The Sovereign Individual, James Dale Davidson and Lord William Rees-Mogg reveal a radical prediction. The rise of the information age will dismantle old power structures, shifting wealth and control away from governments and towards self-reliant, technologically empowered individuals. This book isn't just an economic forecast, it's a survival guide for those who want to master the new reality and claim sovereignty over their own future. We'll break down the key lessons from The Sovereign Individual, exploring how shifts in technology, economics, and geopolitics will impact your personal and financial freedom. By the end, you'll understand why traditional careers, nation-states, and even democracy itself may not survive, and what you can do to ensure that you do. Part 1. The collapse of the old order. The world is moving faster than we think, and history, as always, is repeating itself. The first 2 chapters lay the groundwork for the book's central thesis: history is shaped by the evolution of violence and power. Davidson and Rees-Mogg argue that just as the agricultural age gave rise to feudal lords and the industrial age strengthened nation-states, the information age ushered in the decline of centralized power. The traditional nation-state, they claim, has only been dominant for a few centuries, and its time is nearly up. In Chapter 1, The Transformation of Sovereignty, the authors introduce us to a world where governments are losing their grip. They explain how, throughout history, power has always followed efficiency. In the past, kings and feudal lords ruled because they controlled land and labor. Later, industrial nations ruled because they controlled factories and military might. But now, in the information age, wealth is no longer tied to physical assets. It's digital, mobile, and, most importantly, beyond government control. Chapter 2, The Megapolitical Transformation, dives deeper into the forces driving this shift. Technology is rewriting the rules of power. Cryptography, artificial intelligence, and decentralized finance are making it possible for individuals to operate outside the reach of traditional governments. Taxes, regulations, and even physical borders are becoming irrelevant to those who understand how to harness these new tools. The authors warn: adapt or be left behind. Part 2. The Rise of the Sovereign Individual. The age of the self-sovereign individual isn't coming. It's already here. Chapters 3 and 4 discuss the increasing irrelevance of traditional jobs and the rise of digital expatriates. The authors introduce us to a future where the most successful individuals will be those who can separate their income from any single country's tax system. If you can work remotely, earn in cryptocurrency, and move freely, then you are no longer a subject, you are sovereign. In Chapter 3, The Death of Politics, Davidson and Rees-Mogg predict that democracy itself may struggle to survive. Historically, governments have existed to distribute resources and maintain control over populations. But as technology empowers individuals to sidestep government restrictions, traditional political structures will struggle to remain relevant. This shift could lead to greater personal freedom, but it could also result in social instability. Chapter 4, The New Economy, introduces the idea that future economies will function without centralized states. The authors describe a world where taxation is voluntary and competition between governments leads to the rise of market-based governance. Cities and communities may become more like businesses, competing for productive individuals rather than coercing them through regulation. Part 3. The Dissolution of Nation-States. The new elite will operate without them. In Chapters 5 and 6, the book explains how physical borders will lose their significance. With digital assets, blockchain transactions, and decentralized networks, individuals will be able to store wealth outside of any government's reach. Cyber economies will be untouchable by traditional regulators. Chapter 5, The Sovereign Virtual Reality, outlines how augmented reality, artificial intelligence, and digital platforms will create new ways to live and work that governments cannot easily tax or regulate. Nations that fail to adapt will see their best and brightest leave, taking their wealth with them. Chapter 6, Beyond Democracy, warns that democracy, while effective in the industrial age, is failing in the information age. The authors argue that as productive individuals gain more mobility, they will opt out of high-tax, inefficient systems, forcing a reckoning in governance. Part 4. Mastering the New World. The future belongs to those who prepare for it. The final chapters, 7 through 11, outline actionable strategies for becoming a sovereign individual. Chapter 7, Financial Sovereignty, discusses legally minimizing taxation and protecting wealth through decentralized finance. The authors emphasize the importance of investing in digital assets and using encrypted communication to ensure privacy. Chapter 8, Geographic Mobility, encourages individuals to develop a permanent traveler lifestyle, leveraging jurisdictions with favorable tax laws and legal protections. Chapters 9 to 11 serve as a wake-up call. Those who fail to adapt will struggle in the new world. The authors warn that governments may attempt to resist this transition, but ultimately they will be unable to stop the rise of self-sovereignty. The key to thriving in this new age lies in self-education and adaptability. The authors stress the importance of mastering digital skills, from cryptocurrency trading to cybersecurity, to stay ahead of the curve. They also highlight the necessity of building robust personal networks outside of traditional institutions, as relying on government support will become increasingly risky. Additionally, they urge readers to consider alternative living arrangements, such as special economic zones or floating cities, where innovative governance models may emerge. The rise of decentralized autonomous organizations, DAOs, could revolutionize how people organize economic and social communities. Those who embrace these changes early will enjoy unprecedented freedom and prosperity. Conclusion: the future is not a place you reach, it's something you create. The rise of the sovereign individual is not just a theory, it's already happening. Digital currencies, remote work, and decentralized governance are dismantling old power structures. Those who embrace this shift will thrive. Those who resist will be left behind. The question is, will you take control of your future, or will you wait for the future to control you? If this summary has opened your eyes, now is the time to act. Learn new skills, explore alternative economies, and most importantly, think independently. The age of the sovereign individual is here. What will you do with it?